Welcome back to another episode of the Next Level Minds podcast. For those of you who are listening for the first time, my name is Chris Chapman and I am your host. And this is a podcast dedicated to those who want to reach a next level in their business, personal, or career life. Every other week, I'm blessed to sit down with the fully qualified guest, entrepreneur, content creator, or mover and shaker in their industry and really walk through their story of how they have gotten from point A to point B and overcame various adversities along the way. Now, before we dive into this week's episode, which is part of a series I do called Motivation Monday, talking about different topics to get everyone pumped up to start the week, just want to go ahead and reiterate the main goal here, which is to impact over 1 million people by helping them reach a next level. So if you have not done this already, please take the time to subscribe to Next Level Minds and share this episode with a family member, friend, or colleague who you think would get some value out of it. And if you're really feeling special, leave a review of Next Level Minds on Apple Podcasts and let me know what you think. Other than that, on to today's episode, which, as mentioned, is part of a series I do called Motivation Monday. Today's topic is actually going to be a bit different than most, as I wanted to make an announcement here to all the subscribers and listeners of Next Level Minds to let you know that I'm actually going to be taking a very brief and short break from the show for the next 2 to 4 months max. And I will touch on that in a moment, and really the why behind it, because it's a very thoughtful and intention-based decision. But before I get into the why behind this, I just want to recap the show so far. And Next Level Minds currently has over 10,000 downloads across 45 different countries. We're 75 episodes in so far. We have 87 written reviews. So a massive thank you to everyone out there who has really taken their time to write a review of the Next Level Minds show. Greatly appreciate that. And I know for a fact that I've impacted a significant amount of people with this show based on the amount of emails, text, direct messages I've received on various social media platforms about the show. So big shout out to everyone who's listened. Big shout out to everyone who has shared this episode and shared previous episodes as well of the show. It's because of you that it's been able to be shared in over 45 different countries. So going to the why here behind this short break that I'm going to take. Right now, currently in my life, there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a significant amount of things happening right now that are pulling me in a number of different directions. So the first and most important key life event that has happened to me recently is I recently got married on July 17th. And throughout this process, I've realized over the last month or so that it's extremely important to dedicate the proper amount of time to your relationship. And through this as well, Jacqueline and I have also had the fortunate opportunity to buy a house, which we're actually closing on in the near future. And with this investment into this house, this is going to require me to really adjust my schedule, getting used to a new phase of life. For those of you who don't know, I live in an apartment right now as we're currently recording this, and everything's pretty much taken care of. I don't have to drive anywhere. I can walk everywhere. We have a full maintenance crew on staff, of course, for the apartment complex. So with this new house purchase, it's going to require an adjustment period from myself, as I am a first-time homeowner, first-time home buyer, etc. Another thing and situation that's happening right now that is causing my time to shift a bit is that I'm currently growing in my career from an income perspective. For those of you who don't know, I am in a sales position, and I'm getting to the point where I'm actually starting to see, fortunately, a lot of my sweat equity in the past start to pay off in this role I'm in right now with the amount of money that I've been able to generate this year so far. And it's been fortunate that it's been money that I have never made before. And right now, I'm currently trying to keep that positive trajectory going so that I can use my current income to invest into different assets to really continue to lay a strong foundation for my family's future. And so right now I'm working longer hours to continue to focus on increasing my current income. I also just launched a mobile travel app. We're on the beta version right now with me and 2 co-founders. So that is also requiring a significant amount of time because we just launched the beta. We are currently growing our beta test list. And at the same time, I am also working extremely hard to create new partnerships and a whole avenue of different aspects that I can touch on at another time to continue to help get this mobile app off the ground, because it is something that I do eventually hope to take full time. And so that's requiring a lot. And then, most importantly and final here is that I'm focusing a bit more on my health. In the past, I used to run on little to no sleep and stretch myself as thin as possible. But right now, I'm putting a growing emphasis on my health, both mental and physical. And it's important not to stretch myself too thin. So those are all the things I got going on. Marriage, bought a house, growing in my career, launched a mobile app, focusing on my health, and much more. But I just wanted to keep those brief. And some main learning lessons I've really had through this process is that I've learned that you really need to focus the majority of your time, energy, and effort into the things that you value most. I believe that you do feel full alignment when your calendar and your day-to-day schedule is aligned with your values. And for right now, I still have a very strong value and a desire to want to impact over 1 million people. However, I also have a strong desire, and it's really instilled in my values, to continue to invest in my relationships, continue to lay a strong foundation for my future, continue to get this mobile app off the ground, because those are things that I do want to continue to see cultivate and grow. And so I'm making sure that my current calendar and my current day-to-day operations align with the things that I value most. As mentioned, I still have that overarching goal to impact over 1 million people. However, the Next Level Minds podcast will not be that vehicle to make that happen for the next 2 to 4 months. However, what you can still see, though, is my content on LinkedIn and Instagram, as I will still be producing a abundance of content on those 2 channels related around a lot of avenues that I talk about with the podcast: personal development, business, gratitude, perspective. So you can still be on the lookout for some of that content from me. And I'm also going to start to repost some podcast episodes on Apple Podcast, also LinkedIn, also Instagram. So you can still see some past episodes of the podcast as well. Another big learning lesson here is that if you want to be a leader in your field, I was taught, and I've really realized that it's important to also take time for yourself. Because if you truly want to give something 100%, then you need to make sure that you, as the person trying to add this value into the system, trying to give that thing 100%, you need to make sure that you also are 100%, both physically and mentally, because you can't fill someone up 100% if you're only at 80, 90, 70%, etc. So it's important to make sure that you're also sitting at 100%. Lastly, I've learned through this process that great things take time. Rome was not built in a day. The podcast, Next Level Minds, is not going to get 1 million subscribers overnight. My mobile app that I just launched is not going to get 1 million downloads overnight. My current career I'm in is not going to generate me $1 million overnight. The theme here is that great things and true long-lasting success takes a significant amount of time. So it's really deploying that patience on the long scale here, because again, if you truly want long-lasting success in different areas, it does take a lot of time. So it's important to have that full patience there. here's some big things you can expect going forward. I'm actually going to be setting up a pretty dope podcast studio so that I can have a better format, better sound. I can have some more video content released as well, because I'll have a way better setup than this really makeshift studio I have now, which is a desk, a laptop, and a mic. And I have to turn my desk a certain way to make the sound actually come through clear. So this is something I'm going to be working on, is actually creating a podcast studio. I'm also going to still be recording episodes with new guests. However, they will go live either at the back half of 2021 or at the beginning of 2022. However, I will still be cultivating and mastering my skill set as a podcast host by interviewing qualified guests. And I will still also be taking the time to stack up episodes so that when I do start to release new episodes in the next few months here, that I'll have a steady flow of guests coming at you. And then next thing here, and last and final, the third thing I'm going to be focusing on and what you can really expect is really just focusing on new ways to grow Next Level Minds. You know, yes, this is a podcast. Yes, it is a strong vehicle to impact over 1 million people. But along those lines, I really want Next Level Minds to be a movement here. I don't want it just to be a podcast that people listen to. You know, I want it to be a brand and a community that people trust. So during this time here, I'm going to be taking really some self-awareness into account and figuring out and putting my head together to think of new ways, not only to grow the show, but really to grow the community of Next Level Minds as well. So yeah, huge thank you out there to everyone who's taken the time to listen to this episode and past episodes of Next Level Minds. As a reminder, we're over 10,000 downloads, 45 different countries, 75 episodes so far, 87 written reviews. And I have been flooded with people telling me that they've enjoyed episodes. So huge thank you. Again, this is not a full goodbye. This is a, hey, I'm taking a short break in order to work on myself, in order to work on my show, and in order to work on new ways to impact 1 million people. So again, thank you for listening to Next Level Minds, and we'll be back bigger, stronger, faster than ever.